yesterday we looked at previewing nonfiction and how that can help us figure out a little bit about what the book is about. And today's mini lesson is also helping us kind of work with nonfiction. And it's called Looking for Structure Within a Nonfiction Text. Looking for structure. It says another way that readers can hold on to what we are learning, because that's really what informational texts are all about. And a lot of times that's how you will use them, is to learn new information. Another way readers can hold on to what we are learning is that when we come to the end of a chunk of text, or when our mind is brimful of thoughts, we can pause and say to ourselves, what did I just read? What did I just read? And then we can come up with small summaries of the important stuff. This helps us to recollect what we've learned. So for informational text, I think what's different than when you're reading like a novel, like I could read a novel and I feel like I could go and go and go. But with informational text, for me at least, I find that a lot of times when especially when it's a topic I don't know a lot about, like I know a little bit about when yellow fever came to America in 1793, but I don't know a lot. So I decided that this year, during this unit, I'm going to read this book. And so, but I've been finding that when I'm reading it, oftentimes there's a lot of information, new information, and my head gets really full. And so I need to like stop and say, what did I just read? Because otherwise I lose it, or I get confused, or I'm not able to continue because I have to go back and reread. So sometimes that happens maybe late at night when you're reading, like even a novel, right? You get tired and you forget what you're reading, but I feel like with nonfiction, because it's a different kind of writing, it's a different style, and the way that the books are organized is different. So today, I'm gonna model for you a little bit, and then you're each gonna try in your own book and work with a partner. So to start, I'm going to read a little bit from this book, and when your head starts to become brimful with thoughts because you just like there's too much in this statement, and you are like getting confused, then I want you to like put your hand up so that I can kind of see that. And when the majority of us are like that, then I'm going to ask us to kind of pause and try this out. What did I just read? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so here we go. This is a little bit into chapter 1 of this book, An American Plague. It says, not so many years before, the French monarch Louis the 16th had sent money, ships, and soldiers to aid the struggling Continental Army's fight against the British. The French aid had been a major reason why Washington was able to surround and force General Charles Cornwallis to surrender at Yorktown in 1781. This military victory eventually led to a British capitulation 3 years later, and to freedom for the United States, and lasting fame for Washington. Then, in 1789, France erupted in its own revolution. The common people and a few nobles and churchmen soon gained complete power in France and beheaded Louis XVI in January 1793. Many of France's neighbors worried that similar revolutions might spread to their countries and wanted the new French Republic crushed. Soon after the king was put to death, revolutionary France was at war with Great Britain, Holland, Spain, and Austria. Anybody's head starting to get full?
Yeah.
No? Should I keep going?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if your head is full. Okay, so that's like maybe half of us. So I want to pause, and I want to pose this question: what did I just read? And can anyone help us out here? What did I just read?
Washington.
What about him?
Didn't we just learn?
Those are just words. That doesn't make sense to me.
The French were aiding the American Revolution, and that's the reason.
You're reading about the French.
Wait, hang on. I'm called on Nate. Say it again.
That was one of the things that helped us win the war. Was the French help, and then French were having a revolution at the time, like after that.
Okay.
You were reading about like the French having a revolution after ours, having that one king, and then Britain, all their neighbors were scared that the exact same thing was going to happen, so they tried to stop the French Republic.
Did I read all that? Or is
You
that
said
background knowledge?
No, that's what you said.
I did? I didn't get
I
that.
don't think it said anything about a French Revolution.
Well, no, it did say about French Revolution. Who is the king?
That one guy, I don't know.
Louis the 16th. What's the year?
1793.
1793. Good memory, good recall. All right. So I read 2 paragraphs, and for some of us that was a lot of information. For some of you, maybe your background knowledge helps, or your interest in the topic, or you're paying attention in history, maybe, to help you. So I don't know. So, sometimes the books are set up so that you can chunk the text, like you can look at it and you can decide, like this has sections in it, this one about Nazis. So you might decide that you're going to like chunk the text and then pause and ask yourself this question and maybe write a little about it in your reading response notebook. And it's a strategy that you can try, especially if your head is full of thought. So especially with nonfiction, today and every day as you go forward and we look at this nonfiction, we have to keep in mind that it's different than fiction. And so we might have to try out some of these strategies, to kind of keep us engaged, because it's a different type of reading that we're doing. And even a book that, like, I picked this book because it was thin, right? So I'm like, hey, yeah, let's do this. But when I open this book, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of dates, people, places that I have no idea about. And so reading nonfiction takes a lot more energy when I'm reading it. And so it pays off to do this type of thing. So right now, what I'd like you to do, you can stop,